Welcome once again to Henry's Dashboard Dialogues. That's where we are going throughout the city of Glasgow, looking across the dashboard at the wonderful events, the beauty we have around here, all these things to celebrate. And boy, do we have something that's going to be beautiful. We won't actually be looking across the dashboard on April the 20th, but we'll be looking at the wonderful Sip, Shop, and Stroll, sponsored by the Downtown Business Association. And we have Sherry Williams. She's been involved with the Sip, Shop, and Stroll before, but certainly I know this is an exciting time for the whole group, Sherry, because of the fact that this event has grown. It's got a lot of buzz going around town. You know, it's a much anticipated event coming up here on April the 20th.
Thank you so much for having us. This will be our 9th Sip, Shop, and Stroll.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rain or shine event,
Right.
so anticipate it being going on unless we have some high winds.
Mm-hmm.
We've only had one
of those, yeah.
One where the winds prevented us from having the event, but
we are just going to go ahead and put in our order for a gorgeous day.
Thank you. I ask all our vendors to say a little prayer for
That's
us.
right.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. But what's the vendor count right now, Sherry?
Well, right now we have 148 vendors.
148 vendors.
And 12 food trucks / tents. We have a couple that are coming in under a tent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's quite a few vendors to try to get on the square. So you'll
Yes.
notice this year, when you look at the map, it's gone beyond the square, and we're going down East Washington and East Main. So I really encourage people when they come to the event to make the full circle
Mm-hmm.
through Plaza Way and work your way through all the vendors that are set up on the square.
So you mentioned the word map, which is my opportunity for the first time to say, so where is it we can get a peek at this map, Sherry?
Well, thankfully, yesterday I met up with the PVA folks,
Mm-hmm.
and they helped me get the biggest map of Glasgow Square that they could come up with.
Okay.
So I'm plugging all the vendors onto the square.
Okay.
So after this weekend, the names of the folks that are going to be on the square, they'll be plugged in with numbers.
Okay.
And then we'll post that on our Glasgow Downtown Business Association Facebook page.
Okay. All right.
And that way they can, look for their favorite vendors, because as you know, we've talked before, over 50% of these vendors are from the Barron County area.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a lot coming from other communities as far away as Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten to be on the list of folks that actually do this for their businesses as a place to come. And they love Glasgow Square.
This has become a thing.
Yes, I'd say so.
And we're going to have excellent crowd, a wonderful opportunity for people to come to Glasgow and see and enjoy what we have, and just kind of sip, shop, and stroll with a whole lot of wonderful, wonderful vendors from here in Barron County.
Very much so. A lot of them are homemade, handmade vendors. So you get a lot of candles, crocheted items. We have a lot of boutique clothes that come in. A lot of dog treats. We've got several vendors that have dog treats. It's just a wide variety of things. You never know what you're going to find at a booth.
We have some of the craftiest people around here you've ever seen.
You're exactly right.
And they love to come up here and show off their wares for sure, because they make contacts. They will begin an association with a customer that might not need something now, but in 4 weeks they're going to come find them.
Exactly. And I know while the parents are shopping, they're always looking for stuff for the kids to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a magician that'll be performing 3 times on the square.
Okay.
The Y.M.C.A. is setting up a craft area. They've always been so good to us to come and do crafts with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
The far off Broadway players have a booth on the south side, and they're doing some face painting for children and doing some other things that we haven't offered before for kids to do.
We could sit here all day, Sherry, and talk about it, but you'd still be a fool not to come.
Exactly.
There's no way that we could tell you everything you need to know and then let you make your decision. You got to come.
Just come. And local restaurants will be open, the local shops. I always challenge people that come to the square to walk from one shop to another, even it might not be something that you're interested in purchasing. Just go in and look to see how they've fixed up these buildings on the square, because it's really changed over the last 10 years.
From the city standpoint, we get so many positive comments about how beautiful downtown is, how enjoyable it is to come down here. It's these business owners
Exactly.
that are down here and have invested in the buildings they're in, invested in the inventory, invested into the employees, into the hours. It really is something that we take every opportunity to show off. And 148 vendors coming in to be a part of this expose is pretty impressive.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's a team effort. Melissa Smith at Restore, she does great job with welcoming the vendors. She's the first person that they talk to.
She's a hustler.
She's a hustler. I love working with her.
She is good. She really is.
And the other thing you may want to know is that'll be the first day that the farmers market, Bounty the Barons, will be set up. So they'll be set up with us. And then this event's a little bit unique because the morning setup, there's actually going to be a 5K race going on.
Wow.
Sustainable Glasgow's hosting their homegrown 5K run. So it's going to be a little exciting in the morning, but we're all working together to make sure that it's a smooth transition to shopping.
Well, it's going to be just a fun day indeed. You got to get that for sure on the calendar. And I'm sure a lot of folks have it on the calendar, but how many hours that you and your group put in on this?
Just leading up to it, Melissa and I, quite a few hours,
That's
a
right.
lot of sleepless nights, a lot of messaging back and forth, but it all comes together and we just love having the event on the square.
Yes, we just want it to be more enjoyable every time that we have it. Let's do some specifics, Sherry. Let's talk about times. When is it that the square will be shut down?
We will shut down the square at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's when our first shift of vendors are going to come on.
Okay.
The race will kick off at 7:30, so there will be a pause for our vendors coming on.
Right.
So once the race is underway, then about 8:30, some more vendors will come on. But shopping event will start at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
And you can shop till 4.
Okay. All right.
And I think that'll be plenty of shopping time.
Well, I mean, you might want to break in there somewhere. Go to the 12 food trucks and how many, and several tents, vendors.
Yes, and then our local restaurants as
That's
well.
right.
So
I know that all the local restaurants around the square here are going to have special events, special menus. You need to plan on at least 2 meals while you're here.
Exactly. Yeah.
It'll be hard to narrow that down for sure. And we're going to have the Downtown Glasgow Business Association Facebook page.
That'll be the updated spot with most updated map. It'll have our list of vendors. So if you're looking for somebody that you really like, you can find what you're looking for.
I think it'd be cool to kind of like do a little homework and plan ahead.
Yes.
The people that I want to see are over here. So by now, and then later on in the day, I'll get over here where I think that I want to do this. That's a nice little addition to be able to have the Facebook with a map on to where you can figure out where you're going.
Exactly. And also, Andrew and Jenny Hubble over at Y.M.C.A.'s will be hosting bands pretty much all day.
Right.
So once I get the list of the bands that'll be performing, we'll also post that as well. But you might want to bring your lawn chair.
What else do we need to talk about, Sherry, from the standpoint of Sip, Shop, and Stroll? Look at your notes right there.
Yes, I'm looking. Well, we do need some volunteers.
Okay, talk about that.
One thing that we provide at the event is the opportunity for the vendors to pull onto the square. We help unload their cars and help set up tents.
Okay.
And they are so thankful when we do that because that's, can be a hassle either if they're by themselves or maybe, old like me.
Well, you're ancient. When the vendors are setting up, they need maybe some help in addition to lift some of these things to kind of cut down on the stationary traffic in the middle of the square.
Exactly, because that's always the challenge is getting people on and off the square.
Right.
And if folks do want to volunteer, they can send a note to on our Glasgow Downtown Business Association Facebook page.
Okay, all right.
And we're going to meet probably Friday night just to hand out T-shirts. They'll get a free T-shirt.
Okay, all right.
And then we'll show up bright and early on Saturday morning and kick it off.
The volunteers that you have had helping do this have invested a lot of time in it.
Very much so, very much so. And even your folks, Shelley Vance, you know how I feel about Shelley.
Oh, yes.
Great.
Yeah, she is.
The PVA office has been awesome.
Right.
Chief Howie came to one of our planning meetings,
Yes.
and so he's real interested in what's going on.
So let's just keep it a positive event.
Yes, exactly.
Sherry Williams, she's with us, and she is on top of the Sip, Shop, and Stroll. April the 20th. That's when it's going to be. Going to be coming downtown and enjoy Sip, Shop, and Stroll. We'll have more information on the next edition of Henry's Dashboard Dialogues.